For step activity, we need the male flower of Carica papaya and then female flower of Carica papaya. For this activity, I didn't have hermaphrodite flower, which is a both male and female flower. So for this activity, we will use this flower. And then we need also the jubin for our dissection place, and also we use the forceps, and then we use the razor blade to cut the section of part of the female flower and male flower. And then down here I have make a 6 column that have sepal, petal, stamens, pistil, ovary and ovule. After we dissect this flower and male flower and female flower, we will put at this column sepal, petal and stamen. Okay, so we will doing the male flower. This is the overview of the male flower. The white is called as the petal, so the male flower have 5 petal, and then the yellow at the center of the petal we call as the anther, and then the long tube down here we call as corolla tube. Okay, so after this we will dissect, we will pull out the petal and put out the column. Okay, so this is the overview when we pull out the petal from the male flower. Okay, dah. So now we will put the petal on the column of this petal. Alright, then we will proceed to dissect the male flower. So now we will proceed to dissect the male flower to see the anther and the filament. So we'll do longitudinal section for this one. Carefully to cut the corolla tube. So after the section, so this one is the anther. So yes, is the anther, and then if you can see the below of the anther, we will see the nectar. Okay, this is the nectar. Okay, nectar, and this whole structure is the corolla tube, long tube, and then this is called filament, the anther. Okay, and then filament will holding the anther structure, and then this anther consists of pollen grain. Pollen grain have generative cell and tube cell for this water for fertilization. So for the stamen is the male reproductive organ, consists of two parts, anther and the filament. Next we will do a female flower dissection. So first of all, this is overview of the male flower. So female flower have 5 petals with pointed tip here, and then the stigma of the female flower have 5 branches here. Okay, and then so we go down here. So this like this one we call as the sepal is non-reproductive organ, and then this one called as the receptacle. Okay, and then so we proceed to pull out the the sepal first. So after we pull off the sepal, so we will pull off the petal. So after we pull off the petal, so this is our view of the ovary, female reproductive organ, and then at this ovary consists of many ovule which is have egg cell for fertilization. So after pollen grain reach at the sticky stigma of female flower, and then the pollen grain pollen tube will go down through to the embryo sac for fertilization. So next we will put petal and sepal to the column. So we put the sepal of the female flower at the column. So after that we will put the petal of the female flower to the column. So in this column we have male and female petal. So the smaller one is the male flower of Carica papaya, and then this one is the petal of the female flower of Carica papaya. So the pistil is the female reproductive organ. So this is the consists of the stigma, and then we have stain here. So we can see we stain here. The tail is the below the stigma, and this is whole structure is the ovary. Okay. Now we will doing the section of female flower to see the ovule. So we will doing longitudinal section. So we cut at the center of the ovary. So we have two parts of the organization of female flower. So in here we can see this whole structure. This is the ovary. So the structure is the ovary part, and then the sigma, and then after pollen grain reach the stigma, so the pollen grain will build a pollen tube and reach to the ovule, okay, and embryo sac. So the smaller one at the white, small white like this we call as the ovule. And then we can see here maybe this is the um, uh, embryo. Okay, this is embryo. Okay, okay. So after fertilization occur between the sperm and the egg cell, and the sperm will also fertilize with the polar nuclei at the center of the ovule, and then the ovary structure will build to the fruit, while the ovule, you see ovule here. Okay, you can see white, can see the white small white globule like this. This will become seed of the papaya fruit. Okay, So we will take this structure to the column. So next step, we want to see the transverse section of the female flower of Carica papaya. So we cut longitudinal, horizontal like this, and we can see here this is the ovary part. So the outer is the ovary part, and then we can see the locule. Locule is the divide the ovule and the ovary, the space between the ovary and the ovule. Okay. Okay, so we have finally finished our STEM activity. So from this we can learn about the structure of the male and female flower of Carica papaya, and that is the sepal, and that is the petal of the both of the male and female. Also this is a male flower and this is a female flower, and this is the stamen, male reproductive organ consists of anther and the filament. This one is the pistil, the female reproductive organ consists of stigma, stele, and the ovary. And then after we dissect localization of the ovary, we can see the ovule and the locule. Okay, and then we also can see the transverse section of the ovary female part. So hopefully you can do it, and you also can gain a knowledge to understand more about the development of seed, development of embryo, development of fruits after this activity.